Hi. Okay. I made a tutorial already that has the same information, but I couldn't find it on my computer, and it was too long to post on YouTube. Thanks, YouTube. Thanks especially for telling me that I had a time limit before I made my video. So, anyway, for whoever watches this, this is going to go kind of fast. A lot faster than I'd like. I like to go nice and slow when it comes to teaching these things. Anyway, moving on. So this is for a specific problem in my course for Module 5 involving total cost for gas for the year. And it involves Patrick. I wrote Patrick's name in A2 in this column. I'm going to write people's names down here. Anybody we want to calculate their gas, we're going to start with Patrick. Annual miles, I labeled another column. I'm sorry, when I wrote Patrick's name, I was labeling rows. I'm labeling this row Patrick's row. This is, oops, look at that. You gotta love Excel. It thought I wanted to copy Patrick's name in here. Very powerful program. Okay. Lisa, this is your row going across A3 through G3. And Joe, this is my row, A4 through, I'm sorry, F4, all the way across that row. Okay. This column, column B, is for annual miles. There we go, that's what I was trying to do. This column, column C, is for miles per gallon. This column D is for, mystery, we're going to figure that out. You already figured it out, Lisa, and we can figure this out ourselves here now too. This is column E, this is cost per gallon. This column will be annual gas cost. Let's start with Patrick. The problem tells us he went 30,000 miles. No commas. Excel will read commas as a digit and it won't know what you're trying to do. I don't like that. Anyway, miles per gallon. The problem tells us he gets 31 miles per gallon. I wrote miles per gallon up here, so I don't write MPG here. In these cells, these boxes, we just want to write digits and decimal points, no commas or anything. What goes here? We'll figure that out in a minute. Cost per gallon. Patrick is paying $3.90. We just write 3.90. No dollar sign, please. Just numbers. And as a matter of fact, Excel will make it 3.9 just to make it look confusing. Could we change it to make it 3.90 by default? Probably. Probably. We could make it round to the nearest hundredth, but who cares? We don't want to do that right now. Annual gas cost, we're trying to find that out. That's the whole point of this problem for today. Okay, so what goes here? Lisa, you already figured out, we got to figure out the number of gallons he used. We know the cost per gallon. To figure out his annual cost, we got to figure out how many gallons did he use this year. So that's what's going to go in this column. Gallons per year. Okay, we'll write the annual gallons because that's what I've been fancy in using the word annual. So annual gallons. How many gallons did he use this year? And to figure that out, nothing too fancy. We do have to problem solve, though, and we do have to do some algebra. And Lisa, you already figured out we're going to do 30,000 divided by 31. So I'm just going to write that. Let's see what happens. 30,000, 3 and 4 zeros, divided by, that's our slash button. Divided by is slash. That's not specifically in the tutorial. Maybe it should be the one that's posted currently. I didn't make that tutorial. 30,000 divided by 31. Enter. Hey, what gives? It just wrote 30,000 divided by 31. Way to go, computer. I could do that. Let's put an equal sign. Cool. It divided it for us. And then to find the cost per gallon, I'll write equal sign. Check that out, equal sign. I'll rewrite that number, 967.7419355, blah, 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 times. The multiplication operation is used with the asterisk key. It's above the 8 on my keyboard, Shift 8. Asterisk is multiplication. Maybe that should go in the tutorial if it's not already. I didn't write that tutorial. I got to check it out. We multiply those numbers. Oh, look, it did it for us already. You got 3,774. Lisa, I think that's what you got as well. Okay, the thing is, it's not that helpful. I just typed in those specific numbers here, and I got the answer. And I typed in those specific numbers here, and I got the answer. Wouldn't it be easier to just use a stinking calculator and a pencil and paper? If you're thinking that, you are right. It would be. However, here's what Excel does that's great. I'm going to erase these specific numbers, 30,000 divided by 31, and instead I'm going to use parentheses, so equal sign, parentheses. This is B2, cell B2. Look at that. The computer just did it for me. How cool is that? Comma, C2. the 31. So that B2 references that 30,000. C2 references that 31 because that's in column C2. Close the parentheses, enter, and it didn't like something I wrote. Let's take a look. Oh, the comma. What the heck? That's not an operation. B2, I'm sorry, divided by C2. Sorry, computer. B2 divided by C2, enter, and it got the answer. I'm going to do the same thing over here, even though I haven't explained to you why I'm doing this. I'm going to reference those specific cells. So here, equal sign, parentheses, D, I want to multiply D2, 967 point blah, 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 times the price. That's in E2, $3.90. So that's what I'm going to write. D2 times E2. I could have just highlighted the cell. Enter. Check it out. It multiplied it for us. So you are probably thinking, great, whoop-de-doo, now I had to learn a whole new program for something I could do on the calculator in 2 seconds. Well, check it out. What if you had 1,000 people? What if you had 500 people? What if you had 1,000,000 people? We have 2 more people. Lisa, you drove 45,000 miles this year, and you get, I don't know, 30 miles per gallon. How cool is that? And you paid about $3.65 per gallon on average per year. Not that realistic because that number, of course, would go up and down. And how about me? I drove 40,000 miles this year, 4 and 4 zeros, and I get, I don't know, 32 miles per gallon of gas, and I spend about, we'll say, $3.62 per gallon. Okay? So what gives? Check this out. If I just click and drag, this isn't part of your homework, by the way, okay? But if I click and drag, bam! It already it put the formula for annual gallons into those columns automatically. Same thing over here. Click and drag, bam! Found the total cost. Wow, there's no decimals or anything. How do you like that? It found the total cost, annual cost for the year already. I put a formula in here and a formula in here with cell references. Excel knew to apply that formula to these 2 cells and to these 2 cells in order to get this answer and this answer. And then it knew to use these. You got the idea. You got it. What are they? This cell and this cell to get this cell, and it knew to use this cell and this cell to get this cell. Pretty cool, huh? All right, hopefully this uploads to YouTube. Love you. Great question.